I'll take suggestions what to do later. I think an obvious thing would be to look at some of these deformations that David was talking about this morning, see how to look at those in Atlas. I think that'd be a good thing, but anyway, I'm open to suggestions. And as far as the evening help session goes, where's Susanna? Do you think this is going to still happen this week?
It is kind of going down.
Yeah, so let's say we'll have it this evening and see how many people show up, and if people are not that interested anymore, we might stop, but there will be people there this evening. Is that good? Jonathan? All right, good. On you? Thanks. Okay, questions? All right, so I want to do an example. So this is a nice example because it illustrates what Atlas is good for. And over a year ago, a year and a half ago, Gordon Savin and WeTechN sent me an email with some detailed questions about particular representations of spin 4-4. And if you're interested in hearing the motivation for what I'm talking about, maybe Gordon will say something about it. Gordon's sitting up here for those of you who don't know. And there was a question about some kind of data lifting, and they'd done a certain analysis and they were able to reduce what they wanted to prove to a question that they couldn't answer, and they asked me about it, and after a substantial back and forth and figuring out the question, and most significantly fixing a fairly serious bug in the software, we answered it affirmatively. So it was kind of nice. Spin 4-4. Well, so let's go slowly. Let's just start with spin 4-4. Oops.
Let's go slowly.
Okay. So let's start with SO44. That's a group people are more familiar with. Just to warm up. So this is a disconnected split rail group with Lie algebra SO44. So it's nice that it's in this, the simple roots are the familiar D4 roots. Components rank 1 means that the component group is Z2 to the 1, which is to say it has two components. Oh, yeah, two components. But the group that I'm interested in, that we want to use, so the root system is type D4, and as Bert Constant like to say, D4 has a marvelous triality. The root system of type D4 has an automorphism of order 3. Actually, the automorphism group is S3. But anyway, there's this order 3 automorphism. And the first thing that you might want to ask is what happens on the group level. So spin 4-4, actually let's just do the complex groups for now. Spin 8C is a twofold cover of spin of SO4C, is a twofold cover of the adjoint group. And it's a general fact that the triality exists here, but not, well, it exists here and it turns out not to exist on SO. the center of spin 8 is equal to Z2 cross Z2. And so, excuse me, this has 4 elements, 1, X, Y, and XY, 3 elements of order 2. And the triality cyclically permutes those 3. But SO4 is spin 8 modulo a subgroup, say, Z2, and this Z2 is not preserved by the triality. So it doesn't act here. On the other hand, PSO, of course, is spin 8 modulo 1 X, Y, XY, and that subgroup, of course, is fixed.
Is it how preserves the 4 elements and
It acts, tau is an automorphism of this group, so it certainly takes the center to itself. And it obviously fixes the identity element. And it's a fact that it cyclically permutes those 3. Okay? All right, so let's take spin 4, 4. Set G is equal to spin 4, 4. And G is now connected. As we said, if you take the real points of a semi-simple, simply connected group, the real points are always connected. And one thing you can do is look at the center. It says the group is semi-simple, and the center is Z2 cross Z2. So the whole complex, the center of the whole complex group is contained in the real group. All right? And we're interested in K. So let's set K is equal to K naught of KGB element 0. So this is something Annegret talked about. If you fix the KGB element, in particular 0 can always works, you can take the corresponding K. All right? So what is K? Well, the group is spin 4, 4. So K is approximately, well, I'll just write down what it is. It's spin 4 cross spin 4 modulo, so to speak, minus a diagonal minus 1 minus 1. So spin 4, what is spin 4? Spin 4 is type D2, and it's compact. So it's SU2 cross SU2.
That's it.
Modulo something. So, well, so let me just write down.
It's not. It's SU2 times SU2 on the notes.
Yeah, it's literally SU2 cross SU2. Let me just write, there's the, I mean, it's sort of a diagonal minus 1. All right. And now, maybe you're not sure about this. Like Joe was saying, you know, maybe there's some other quotient here somewhere. So well, we have K. What does it tell me about K? It has Lie algebra 4 SU2s. And let's look at its center. Whoops. It's a product of 3 Z2s. So this group has 4 Z2s. You've modded up by one of them. So we've confirmed that this is what K is. And
well, to be fair, you haven't confirmed that it's the diagonal.
that's true. I haven't confirmed it's exactly this. I just confirmed that it's an element of order 2. That's correct. But what else could it be? Huh? Plenty of elements of order 2, but only one of them seems plausible.
Do you know what the automorphism group of spin 4, 4 is? You should ask the audience. Do you know what the automorphism?
What's the automorphism group of the real group spin 4, 4?
Well, Gordon
I mean,
knows.
symmetric group of 4 letters select on all of that, I think, something like that.
It's, I mean, there's certainly, you can swap the 2 spin 4, 4s. And,
It's the symmetric group on 4 letters.
oh, is it really? Isn't that nice?
Isn't it amazing? And then you can imagine how it acts on K. K is the maximal compact subgroup. Oh.
You can also give P of a Cartan decomposition is just, you should maybe say P on Cartan decomposition is just two-dimensional
P?
representation of SU2
Oh.
to the 4th tensor power, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
Nice.
the G is equal to K X of P. And what's the dimension of P?
16.
This is a 16-dimensional representation of this fellow. Hello?
No, it's low battery.
All right. Excuse me. All right. So, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There's, from the group theory, there's sort of an obvious homomorphism from automorphisms of spin 4, 4 to automorphisms of D4. In other words, a group homomorphism from S4 to S3. That's well known to group theory people, but it's not especially obvious, I think. I mean, well, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh.
S4, it's a map from S4 to S3. Exercise.
What is S3?
The permutation group on 3 letters.
Realized as the automorphism group of D4.
Oh.
All right. Now, what comes next?
By the way, on the upper board, unless I'm mistaken, there are 2 4s which are 8s, no? There's no 4s.
Oh, yes. Okay, so, excuse me. So the first thing that Gordon told me is that he was interested in a particular representation with infinitesimal character, a root. Now D4 only has 1 root length, and so all the roots are conjugate, so it doesn't matter which root, but it's convenient to take the highest root. So let's set alpha to be the highest root of G. Oh, by the way, what do the roots of G look like? Isn't that unfortunate? That's the Cartan matrix. So since the group is simply connected, it chose coordinates so that those 4 vertical columns are the simple roots.
Are you gonna show us the co-roots?
Would you like to see them, David?
I would.
Okay, I'll show you the simple co-roots. Although David knows what they are. Since the group is simply connected, the simple co-roots is the fundamental weights, is just the identity matrix.
One of these roots is not like the others. One of these roots isn't the same. Can you tell which one is not like the others?
That's not so obvious from this, right? One of these roots is the center.
Roots.
Huh?
The simple root side, but you can see that there's one root.
That's what I said, one of these roots.
Oh, roots. The co-roots.
Yeah, the co-roots all look the
Yeah, I
same.
guess it's obvious that this co-root, this root number 2 is a little different. So the triality automorphism fixes that root and cyclically permutes the other 3. So one of the interesting things to do is to actually have access to that. So let's set delta is equal to the following matrix.
Is it safer to call it tau? I mean, there's a lot of deltas in our world.
Fine. Tau. Oh, no, wait, the second one is 1. Oops. Is this the right format? No brackets, just like this?
Yeah, you can do it.
I think that's the matrix. And so let's look at the simple roots of G. And then if this is the correct automorphism, multiplying on the left should do something nice. So multiplying on the left took the first simple root to the third one. It took the third one to the fourth one. And it took the fourth one back to the first one. And it fixed the second. So this is the triality automorphism. Okay? Look what you got me into, David. Okay, all right, so, oh yeah, so I'm going to set gamma equal to alpha. What's alpha?
Highest root, I
I
guess.
thought, oh, is that the highest root? Oh yeah, pos roots of G. Yeah, that's entertaining, the highest root is this. So gamma is the highest root, and we're interested in representations with infinitesimal character gamma. And so let's get all of them and just start with that, see how many there are. So let's set all is equal to all parameters gamma of G with infinitesimal character gamma. All right, how many are there? Ballpark. Now, David knows.
No, I don't. In fact.
First of all, what's the size of the KGB?
No, that's a good question. KGB size of G, 109.
Lower bound.
Well, that's a lower bound at rho. Let's,
No, even that's not correct,
No.
because they're local systems.
no, that's what we said, lower bound.
Oh, lower bound, sorry.
Sharp block of, hang on, sharp, all parameters, gamma, G, rho of G. They're 196 at infinitesimal character rho, so it's something less than that. Anyway, 49.
Oh,
Is that more or less than you expected?
less.
Okay. So let's set B is equal to set it's not a block. It could be in several blocks. Let's just take a quick gander. Oh, that's interesting. They're sort of in opposite order.
Height. Increasing height.
Yes. So I think, well, anyway, these ones up at the top are some principal series, and these guys down at the bottom are some discrete series, and everything in between. All right. Okay, so which is the representation that Gordon asked about? Gordon said, what I want to know, well, there are a bunch of questions. I'm not going to talk about all of them. But one of the questions was, excuse me, if you circle those two simple roots, you get a parabolic P, where L is equal to, is a type A2 cross T2. And in fact, L of R is locally isomorphic to SL3R cross GL1R squared. And it may be that on the nose. I think it's that on the nose. Is that right, Gordon? I think it's,
So, yeah.
anyway.
Simply connected groups, I guess.
So let's set P is equal to parabolic, colon, 0, 1. That means the parabolic with those two roots in the Levy factor. And let's do KGB element 108 to make it split. So it's a disconnected real group, disconnected split real group. Let's do print Z. Let's set L to be the levy of P. And print Z of L. The center has no circle factors, 2 R plus factors, and 2 Z2s. It sure looks like SL3 cross GL1. I don't think it's possible if, well, SL3, the center has order 3.
Well, SL3.
SL3C.
Yeah.
So I think it's forced to be this. I mean, it's certainly a quotient. It's a quotient of SL3C cross C cross squared, and I'm pretty sure it's forced to be this. Anyway, it's certainly locally that. Did I check the component group? Okay, and so Gordon
By
said,
the way, which rules out what you wrote?
no, rank 2. That means
Oh, rank 2.
rank 2
Sorry.
means Z2 cross Z2. Okay, so now what do I want to say? Oh, so Gordon said, please induce the trivial representation on this group. So let's let TL to be the trivial of L, and induce that real parabolic induction up to G. So let's do real induce irreducible TL up to G. Let's set in equal to this. So in is a direct sum of 2 irreducible representations, these 2 with these parameters. So I called it A, is the parameter 108, X is equal to 108. That's rho, right? Lambda is rho. And nu is the root, 0, 1, 0, 0. And there's another representation B, which has X is equal to 65. Lambda is different now, -1, 4, -1, -1. And nu is something really weird. minus 1, 3, minus 1 over 2. So these are two of the representations that Gordon was interested in. But before well, so one interesting thing to do is
Can you type simply TR?
T,
Trivial, what's TL?
trivial of G.
No, TL, just.
Oh, TL.
Oh, it doesn't, I thought it meant look something like the first line.
Yeah, I thought it would too. It often does, but just not.
But the access course is not X from L, which is a much smaller KGP.
That's right. So this X for L and X for G are essentially the same in some sense, but they're numbered very differently.
Can you write the simple co-roots of L?
So one interesting question.
Actually, can you write highest root of L?
What's the significance of that?
That's nu and lambda.
Are both nu and lambda. So,
And, well, you could also ask for rho of L would help.
Because it's into.
well, of course it's rho. It's the trivial, but yeah.
But it's one bell,
Pardon me?
one bell, that's one bell.
There is a bar on the second row.
No, that's highest underscore root.
We never have a font with anything on it.
So this is
What is ASCII?
this is sometimes called snake case, as opposed to camel case. Do people know about camel case? I just learned about this.
It's just really bad.
It's a computer science thing. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So I want to look at the action of the automorphism. So I've got these two representations. Do they come in? Is there? What are they in families of 3 with triality? So let's see. So let's set n monomials equal to monomial, or m equal to the monomials of
Just before you type it, you know the set M, just for a different style.
just m equals.
No, the set M equals, okay, do this, and then set M equals dollar. It's just a different way of obtaining the same result, but I think it's.
Yeah, it has a certain advantage. I can see that.
But you see what you have in front
Yeah.
of you.
I agree. So this int is it's called the param pole. It's a linear combination of things with some coefficients. The monomials just takes out the parameters and throws away the coefficients and returns it as a list. And n is now this list. And so this is just a way of,
The advantage is that you can now select.
right, I can set A is equal to m bracket 0 and set B is equal to m bracket 1. Oops. A and B. So those are the 2 parameters that I'm interested in. And now let's look at twist tau A. So this triality automorphism fixes A. And how about B? Also fixes B. Interesting. Let's look at here are the first 10 representations from this list of all the representations of this infinitesimal character. And obviously, tau acts on this list. And we just discovered that it fixes this first guy, and it must fix the second one. I think it probably fixes the second one. What's an interesting one? Probably. Well, let's just see. Let's look at all bracket 2, and let's apply tau to it. So all is a list, and all bracket 2 is the second element of that list.
All was the list of all parameters whose infinitesimal character is the highest root.
So let's set P is equal to all bracket 2. Oops. There's P. There's twist.
Sorry.
Twist tau P. Oh, sorry. There's better way to do this. There's P. If you apply tau to it, you get number 105. And apply tau to that, you get 104. And apply tau to that, you get back to 107. Cute, huh? So the triality is acting non-trivially on this plot. It's permuting those three guys.
Maybe you could type list.
Pardon me?
Can you type list?
List?
Parentheses hash colon, comma, parentheses in I, parentheses colon, and then twist tau or 4I equals 1I. Parentheses.
Found list of parameters.
I want list of numbers
Which are fixed.
I thought that was correct, but what is this? No, got it. Yeah, hash colon. Hash colon.
Oh, the two things have been interchanged.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you have to put the hash colon after the other. That's a change of it.
Oh, this goes at the end?
Yeah, but it's not actually, that's how. But there you got the fixed.
They're the ones that are fixed.